Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this 13.6-inch M2 MacBook Air model A2681. Alright, so there was liquid spilled on this, so we're going to open it up, see if there's any liquid there, and then dry it all out. Alright, we're going to be using a P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 screwdriver to remove the screws from the bottom. You want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So in this case, this laptop has 4 screws. Okay, I think I've only taken this model apart like 1 or 2 other times to do like a screen replacement or something. So we'll see if I can remember how this comes apart. Usually, well, the Airs are usually different, but let's see here. Okay, we're gonna use a suction cup and see if we can pop this up. Okay, we're gonna go from the front here and see, come on, pop it off, there we go. Okay, so going from the front opening portion, just going underneath, and then I think usually the MacBook Airs, they don't slide, right? Do they? Oh, actually, maybe this one does. Okay, so once you do that, I pull the cover forward, get my fingers in there, pinch it and pull it, and then I push down with my other fingers up here. I don't know. Actually, maybe I think it's just clips. Okay, yeah, I think it's just clips, so let's go ahead and continue pulling up here. Yep. Okay, or maybe we just needed to pull one more clip. So I push down with my thumb and pull up with my fingers if you didn't notice. All right, let's see if we can slide it down now. Yep, okay, there we go. Okay, there's a little bit of water still in here, as you can see. So good thing we're opening this up. Let me go grab some paper towels. Actually, for now, I'll just use some Kleenex, and we'll just dry this up. Okay, dry that up. Make sure it's nice and dry inside. You don't want to leave any liquid inside here because that can cause some major damage. Alright, there's lots of liquid. Oh, that's kind of scary. It's in the screen cable area. So, oh, hopefully it's going to be okay. Alright. Let me go grab, I'm going to grab a toothbrush and some paper towels because this kind of makes the lint fall off too easily. So yeah, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Got some paper towels. So far, mainly that top was the part that had a whole bunch of liquid. Hopefully there's not much on the rest. The one good thing is there's no fans here. So there's not really something pulling the moisture inside. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and take a look what we need to do to disconnect the battery. I believe the battery is connected right here. And those look to be probably T3, maybe T4 screws. So, yeah, okay, let me zoom in here to get a thumbnail. I don't know if I did that already or not. Okay, so we got that. Let's go ahead and zoom in now for the battery connector. We're going to remove these 2 screws. Again, keep everything in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths, and if you mix up the screws, you can cause damage. Alright, so we're going to remove these. Because there was liquid in the screen area, we are going to also take the screen out. Here you can see these little hooks in there. So take note of that because when you put it back, you don't want to flip it over, or you can damage the thing. Alright, so now that we've got that out, I'm just going to get my fingernail in here if I can, and pop that out, pull that back, and there we go. Now the battery is disconnected. Usually after disconnecting the battery, what I like to do is open up the computer, press and hold the power button for 15 seconds or longer to make sure that all the power is drained from the capacitors and things like that. Okay, so we'll hold it for a little bit longer and just make sure it's completely off. Alright, so what happened with this one, the customer told me that their daughter was in art class or something, and then they had a cup of water that they were kind of cleaning the brushes in, and that cup tipped over and spilled on it. Alright, I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol to kind of clean this a little bit. Looks like there was a little bit of spillage on here as well. I'm going to have to dry out the whole keyboard once I'm done here. If you're going to be cleaning stuff with isopropyl alcohol or anything liquid, you do want to make sure that it's not overly saturated. I've had a lot of people that use like Clorox wipes or Lysol wipes or something. Those things have so much liquid that it kind of drips out, and then it actually drips into the computer and fries the components. So you want to be careful with that. Make sure I put a little bit on the paper towel, and then it kind of soaks into the rest of the paper, so it's not enough to kind of drip all over everything. I mean, it does leave some moisture there, so you still want to be a little bit careful. You don't want, again, to basically flood the thing, because then you end up with more liquid damage. All right, so anyways, clean that up a little bit. Oh, I guess this is also kind of not like this part's important to be cleaned. It's just, all right, well, we'll flip this back over. Next thing we gotta do, the touchpad most likely is okay. It looked like it all fell in the screen, and also the computer still was turning on, so it's likely okay. But let's go ahead and take this out, this connector out, so we can try and pull the whole board up. Okay, we'll take those two screws out, and we'll kind of flip this up out of the way. The metal's attached to there, and then I'm going to get my fingernail and then just flip that connector up and out. Okay, oh, is this held on with adhesive? Kind of. So this one, okay, this touchpad cable semi held on there with adhesive, so we'll just leave that be. Pretty sure their touchpad is okay. I don't see anything weird there. If the touchpad starts acting weird, then I'll have to take that out. But since it already keeps turning itself on, we're probably just going to leave it be unless there's some issue. Then we're going to have to replace it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and remove this little hinge cover. These are all using T3, if I didn't mention. T3 Torx 3 screws. Okay, let's see. Can we pull this out yet? I don't remember what I had to do to remove this last time. I think I might have to remove the whole speaker assembly first. So let's go ahead and remove these screws. Okay. Also, let me make sure. Doesn't look like there's any liquid in the ports, so that's okay. Alright. Again, this is my first time ever taking this model apart further than just the screen. So we'll see if there's any kind of tricks to it. I have to kind of test the screwdrivers to make sure that I'm using the right size. Might be a T5, so let's see here. Yep, okay, make sure you switch to T5 or Torx 5 screws for this. Here, and here. I'm pretty sure those switch back to T3. So we're just going to focus on these. Okay, just like that. Speaker screws are removed. I'm going to switch back over to the T3 Torx 3 screwdriver. Actually, we might need to use something else. What is this? Okay, this is a two-part thing. We're going to remove this connector from here. And this one has a screw hidden underneath this adhesive pad. Let me zoom in actually here. Okay, so got one of the screws out. Here's the second one. And there's another one hidden underneath here. So we gotta peel this out of the way. And you can see the other hidden screw. Okay, if you just want to see how to remove the screen, I do have a video specifically for that. Again, this one, I'm going to be completely taking it apart. Okay, so here is the LCD LVDS connector. Oh, there's some corrosion looking stuff in there. Hopefully it's okay. We'll scrub that a little bit just to clean it off. Okay, and if I remember correctly, we only need to remove 2 of these screws here. So the other one kind of sandwiches it together. I'm going to switch well, I guess it's still the T3, so we'll use the T3 Torx 3 here. Okay, So if I remember correctly, it's these two. Yep. Okay, now that we got those two screws out, you can see that this whole piece is wiggling. Okay, we gotta disconnect the two cables here. I thought there were three. So we got those two. Oh no, there's some, oops, sorry. There's a bit of corrosion in there. Actually, it might not be corrosion. It might just be the milky color of the ink. Yeah, I think, wow, they might be super lucky. If it went a little bit further, that would have definitely fried the screen cable connector. But I think they might have gotten away with it. Alright, there's also a connector here that you need to lift up. So I don't know if you saw, I flipped that cable up. That's a speaker connector. We do need to undo the screws here for the wireless antennas. These are also T3, Torx 3. You do want to check the screws if it's wobbly. If the screwdriver is wobbly in the screw, you want to check a size up. And if it's not fitting properly, then obviously you have to go a size down or further if it's not going. So there's that. Then we got the two wireless antennas. You go from the tail to pop it up. I just use my fingernail and pop it up like that. Okay, you can see, let me zoom out here a little bit. Okay, and now we should be able to lift this antenna out. Actually, am I missing something? Oh, I might be wrong. I think we do need to remove these because these are covering a screw, if I remember correctly. Let's see. So I'm going to use my screwdriver to get in there and help pull it while I kind of lift it up. And there we go. Yep. Okay, there we go. Sorry for the confusion. All right, we're going to go on the other side and do the same thing. Okay, again, get in there with the screwdriver and basically lift this up while you kind of pull it out. Okay, can be a little tricky. And I would recommend using the larger screwdriver for this because the smaller one you can possibly break it easier. So I'm going to use the T5 for this. And let's see, why is this side being so difficult? Come out. There we go. Okay, sorry, it went slightly off camera view. There we go. So now we'll get that and set that aside. You want to be careful because there is the little sensor there. I forgot what that sensor is called, but basically it tells the screen or the computer when to sleep. All right. Oh, I think we still need the T5 now that I got those screws out, right? Is this T5? Yep. Okay, so take that out. Other side as well, obviously. Take this out. Okay. All right, what else? Don't forget to get this antenna out. Okay, we might have to start from here and then work our way in because there's not much room in here. Obviously, you can use like some smaller tools to do this, but there you go. Okay, let me zoom out. I found my fingernails work really well for this kind of stuff. So yeah, all right, let's see if we can now lift the whole speaker out. And oh, there's still a connector here and here, so we do need to make sure to get those out. We're going to switch back to the T3 Torx 3 screwdriver. I almost forgot those. That's why you got to kind of work a little slow. Don't just try and rip things up quickly. Okay, it's not a race. All right, lift that out. Then you got this cable again. Lift that up. We can go ahead and lift this speaker out first. There we go. And we'll set that aside here. All right, then we got the other speaker here. So again, we have a cable underneath this. We're gonna have to get out as well. We probably don't need to pull the whole screen out. If you want to see a video how to remove the screen, again, I do have one showing that. All right, we're gonna flip that up, this connector, and then we can lift this speaker out. So the speakers also have the antennas attached to it. You see all that like gold colored stuff in here? That's the wireless antennas. All right, so we got that out. All right, what else do we got to do? We got all these other little connectors that we need to disconnect here. Okay. The power button, I've removed it on other models. I'm not going to remove it from here because I don't see any sign of liquid at all. Let me see, is this T5 or T3? Okay, it looks like these screws are T3, Torx 3 screws. So we're going to remove these. Alright, and hopefully I'm not removing anything that's unnecessary here. It looks like there's 2 screws here that we're going to have to remove as well. This one and this one. Okay, can we lift this off? Yep. Alright, so we'll get that out. And now we have 2 connectors here. Let me zoom in. Let's see here. Huh. Okay, so one is the audio jack, and then the other one is the, again, I forgot what that sensor's called, but it's the sensor that tells it that the screen is opened or closed. So I'm going to just bend them slightly up because I don't need to remove the audio jack. There's 2 screws there holding it. My main focus is trying to see what's under this portion here. Okay, so do we need to do something to get this out? Oh shoot, okay. We're gonna have to peel this thing away. Alright, there's another screw here. I think that means we might have to redo the thermal paste. So we'll take that screw out. Does this plate come up? Yep. Okay, you lift it and slide it out that way if you saw. Okay. And I don't know if I have to pry something up here or what. Is that a connector? It is a connector. Okay, so make sure to disconnect that. I don't know what that is. Now it's going to be very difficult to put it back because it's like wanting to stay tilted up. All right. I guess let's go ahead and get all of these out. We're going to have to, again, go slow and careful because, oh, I think those are T5, Torx 5 screws. Yep. Gonna have to go very slow and carefully here. Another T5. These are probably, oh, this is also a T5. Got this guy, also T5. Okay, then we got a few here. We're gonna also flip this one up if you didn't already. Okay, that's for a microphone, it seems. Right, looks like there's 3 microphones right there. All right, we got a few more here, but this seems like heatsink. Let me see if we can leave those there. All right, let's skip over to here. And then over to here. It's a lot of screws. It's a lot to keep track of. All right, we're gonna switch back over to the T3 Torx 3 so we can disconnect the charge port and the 2 USB-C ports here. Hopefully you guys are able to keep track of all these screws. It is a lot of them. Okay. All right, there's 4 screws it looks like holding this bracket down. I think I said 3, but there's 4. Okay, one more down here. Alright, then we can take this out. Alright, got all these little cables we need to disconnect. Let me see if I can show this closer. Ooh, way too close. Alright, I just, again, use my fingernail and get underneath and pop it up. That one, and then the 2 charge port, or sorry, the USB-C ports, they're 2 separate ones. And then you can bend it up and out of the way. All right, we got this. Is that a T5? Let's try. did I remove last? These two, okay. Gotta make sure I get out everything. All right, let's zoom out. Let's see if we can take this out or if we have to remove the heatsink screws as well. So this is lifting up. Okay, it looks like the whole board is lifting out now. I do have to be careful because, again, this power button cable, oh, it's separate. Okay, perfect. So we can lift this whole board up and out. Be very careful here, and luckily it looks like it didn't get anything on this. Okay, so yeah, if you happen to take these 4 screws out and pull that apart, pretty sure the heatsink is under there, and if you do that, you're gonna have to redo the thermal paste. I think I saw a video of someone separating the layers, so that's not my goal, that's not my intention. I see no liquid at all in there, so they should be okay. Most of the liquid was just in these connectors here. Oh, there's a little right there as well. You see that? So I'm gonna have to brush that. Luckily, I don't see any burning, any corrosion there. Actually, this one's slightly actually corroded, like it's white powdery from the spill itself, or from the electricity, not from the spill, because the other ones, the spill kind of cleans up easily. One thing we could do, we can put a tiny bit of the isopropyl alcohol in there. I mean, you can flood it if you want, but it's just going to be harder to dry it off and clean it. So I'm just going to put a little, okay, I basically have poked a little hole in here, and I'm just going to drip some on there just to clean it. All right, a little there, a little there. Okay, hopefully you can see I put very little, and we're just going to brush it to kind of help dissolve that gunk. And spread it thin enough that it won't cause any problems. Okay, you see that? It's all dry now. If you want, you can use like an electric air blower. Whoa, this thing kind of don't grab from here. I don't know if you saw, it's like very bendy. So you want to be careful because this is very flexible there. And then see this cable, it's going to be a little tricky to put back because it wants to like roll itself. We'll see. Okay. So there's that. We'll set this down here. Hold it again by the board area. This side is just the metal plate that's on top. Okay. This model, they don't have a fan, so it just uses a giant heat spreader kind of thing. All right, and here you can see this connector, how the power button connects here, and then you have this little connector here. What is that for? So there's no touch bar on this model, is there? Yeah, there's no touch bar. So, I think that goes to the microphones here. No, because this cable's for the microphones. So what's... Oh, the keyboard connection. So this is the keyboard connection. You can see the power button fingerprint reader plugs into that board here. And then you have this little cable going in here. And I believe that's for, yeah, that's for the battery. So that goes into the battery here. So it looks like on this model, if you need to replace the battery, you have to pull the whole motherboard, logic board out so you can get this cable plugged back in. Unless there's a way to connect that cable to the battery itself. And the replacements might come with that, but I doubt it. Alright, anything else here? I don't think I see anything else. Yeah, I don't see anything else here. So, alright, we're going to reassemble this. Let me wash my hands real quick because, I don't know, it got something sticky. And I'll be back. Alright, let's reassemble everything. Actually, let's take a look at the microphone cable here because, remember, on the board itself it had some corrosion. So, there's a little bit here. It's not too bad. It looks like it should be okay. But I just want to make sure. Okay. Alright, and then make sure that's all right up there. Make sure there's nothing. And get a piece of paper towel, make it easier to kind of wipe. Okay, I'm gonna get a little more isopropyl alcohol in there so I can clean it better. Okay, we'll clean up in there, and hopefully we should be okay. I do see some slight residue there, but okay. And also isopropyl alcohol evaporates and dries really fast. Okay, so we're gonna now get the board back in. You do want to make sure all these cables end up back on top so that we can plug everything back in. So when you put the board back, make sure that you're not accidentally trapping any of the cables under. It looks like these cables you can actually leave attached, so we didn't have to unplug. Oops, sorry, we didn't have to unplug the audio jack or the what do you call the audio jack or the power button connector. So now I just made my job a bit harder. Push that back in. Push that back in. Okay. And that does mean we could have just left that little metal plate attached here. I'm going to be confused now. There's so many little pieces we need to put back here. Okay. Anything else that we could have left? I think that's it. Everything else seems like you do need to disconnect it. So we're going to get this back in. So we do need to slide it this way to make sure those cables end up on top. And make sure that the microphone cable ends up on top as well. Okay, so yep, that's good. Line everything up. Okay, make sure to line this up. This one, again, might be a little tricky. Make sure it goes in. You can try and pull on it and see. You can see it's holding itself down now. So we did reconnect that. That's good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and reconnect these cables. Just line everything up and push it down. You might have to kind of move them around, like kind of push them further back or around to make sure that they line up right. Okay. Looks good. Alright, those went in pretty easily. Make sure you don't plug in the battery one yet. Okay. We have this connector. I'm trying to remember if we need to put the speakers on top first. Let's plug in the microphone. Okay, I think we can just plug this screen back in now. Okay, the tricky part is making sure it lines up because cable. Okay, gotta make sure it lines up with the little connector because you don't want to try and force it down onto nothing. Okay, I don't know if my head was in the way. If it was, I'm sorry. Right, we got the speaker here. This lines up. Line up the wireless antenna connector. Sorry, I should probably zoom in here. Alright. Line up the wireless antenna. Okay, click it down. Okay, now what we got? We got the T5 still. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's put back those screws. Got this guy. Got this guy. There's no specific particular order that you need to put these back in if you're wondering. Okay, as long as whatever's, if they overlap each other, then you gotta make sure that those go in specific order. Okay, but anyways, we're going to go ahead and get all these screws in. Oh, that's one thing. I might have to take this back out for the other speaker because the antenna is, let's see. And no, I think it should be okay. So this tucks underneath. This goes on top. Yeah, we should be okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get this antenna reconnected. Okay, very important that you make sure the antenna is lined up perfectly before pushing it down. You don't want to bend or damage that there. Okay. Now the speaker screws. Loosely fit them first to make sure everything lines up. The last one here. Okay, tighten it down. There we go. Make sure this cable is connected as well. Hopefully you guys were able to see everything I was doing. Okay, let's see here. Am I missing anything? Alright, there's quite a few screws I need to make sure I'm getting everything in place. Those two, okay. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we can put back these little hinge covers. So just line them up, get them in. Alright, it goes in much easier than it does trying to take them out. Okay, get that back in. Excuse me. Alright. I think these were T3, right? Yep. So I'll switch back to the T3 screwdriver. Get the little hinge cover screws back in. Okay. Go over to the other side. This screw back in. Perfect. All right. We got a whole bunch of little metal plates that hold the connectors in. So this one, this small one is for here. Hopefully I don't mix anything up. Okay. Line it up, get the screw in. I'm going to loosely fit it first, then get the second screw. Tighten that down. Alright, we're going to also get in the screen one. So we had the two black screws here holding this down for the cabling. I'm going to loosely fit the first one. We'll get the second one here. And we'll tighten that down. Actually, the screw holes have a little residue on it. We'll kind of wipe it a little bit. It's not lining up right. Okay, there we go. All right, we can tighten these guys down. The little isopropyl tone, just wipe that. Okay, even brush it a little bit. All right, then we got this one here. All right, get the first screw over here. Loosely fit it. Get the second screw over here. All right, then tighten those down. So you can put a little isopropyl alcohol and clean that a tiny bit as well. Okay. This also has a little residue in there. it's kind of under the adhesive. I don't want to peel it all up because then the adhesive will just fall off. So there we go. Okay, and we have one more screw that's under the adhesive. Peel that back. Get that screw in. Perfect. Oh, I guess it peeled off anyways. Alright, line that back up and stick that back down if it will. Nope, it kind of just wants to fall back out. Still a little bit sticky. I don't know. Let's clean this a little bit better maybe now that it's completely off. Okay. Stick that back down. Okay, it's sticking. Alright, what do we got next here? We got the little thing that covers the wireless antennas. Make sure you put it the right way. Okay, loosely fit it. Second one. These screws are super tiny, so make sure you don't lose any of them. Okay. There we go. What else do we got? We got all the T5 Torx 5 screws. Let's start putting those back, and then we'll put the rest of the little covers back on. So, zoom out here. This one over here. Huh. Wait, is this one T3? This one's T3. Okay. So these two are T3. I think the rest were T5, yep. Okay, get these three in. If it's going in right, it feels, there we go. All right. I like to twist it backwards first. I don't know if you notice. You can hear it clicking when I do that. Okay. The third one here. Oops. All right. Let me have this one right here. Alright, let's put in the little covers. Switch back to the T3, Torx 3. This one has a little thing that tucks underneath first, and then it goes down. Okay, we have that. We have the other one over here. Okay. All right, tighten those down. Perfect. All right. What else we got? We got that one there. Okay. That. Okay. This one's for here. screw. Alright. Let's get the other 4 over here. We're almost done reassembling this thing. If you want to see what it looks like underneath the metal cover, to see like the CPU thermal paste and stuff, again, there are videos out. I don't have one, but I've seen other people do it, so it's definitely somewhat easy to do once you get to where you pull the board out. Again, I think you just take those extra 4 screws out that I didn't take out, and then should be easy from there. Alright, let's get these screws all tightened down now. Switch back over to the T5, Torx 5. Oh, did I accidentally cover? I think I covered one of the screw holes there. So we're gonna have to take that back out. My bad, my bad. Okay. Get that in, and then we're gonna have to take that back out. I think there's a screw hidden under there, if I remember correctly, because I do have one more screw that in the pattern I put it, it would go under there. And yep, there is one there. That's the benefit to putting the screws in the pattern. You can know where the screws came from. And if you miss something, you can kind of figure out where it came from. Alright, put these back in now. Again, I loosely fit them first to make sure everything's lined up. And the last one. Alright, go ahead and tighten them down. There we go. Alright, last few. So we gotta put the touchpad cable back in. So again, this kind of rolls over. It's a little weird, but line this up. Okay, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to actually flip it over to make it easier for me to do. So we'll go like this. Okay, so line this up. Push that down. All right, then flip that cable back over and let's get the screws in. All right. Come on, it's not flipping over. Okay, loosely fit it. Make sure everything lines up. And then tighten it down. Alright, you can stick this back down if you want. Okay, we got the battery connector now. So line it up. Make sure it's in all the way. Okay. Get the metal plate. Remember, it has those little hooks that go over the front of it. Okay. And the last screw for reassembling. And then we just got to get the bottom cover on. Make sure everything powers up and works okay. Alright, so there we go. Now we just got to get the bottom cover. Let's zoom out a little more. Okay. Now we just get the bottom cover. Let me show you how it looks. So here you can see there are 4 things that hook into these 4 screws. The rest are these, are these clips. So actually 4 clips and then 4 of those things that slide in. So to get the cover on, you start it slightly down here. Okay, and then while kind of holding that area where the screws are down, you slide the case up. Okay. Come on, get in there. Why doesn't it want to go? Let's try rotating it this way to make it easier to hold the clips in place. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now that it's all slid up, okay, make sure everything lines up side to side. If it's too far to one side, you can kind of use these nubs to kind of push it over a little. Then click it down, there we go. And now we just get the 4 screws back in. We'll plug it in and make sure everything's good, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living, right? If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. I also have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. Pretty much the same profile picture, but zoomed in. It'll help a lot if you could watch a few of those videos and then like, comment, and subscribe there as well. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead, plug this in, make sure it powers on, and we should be good to go. Hopefully the screen and everything survived having that liquid in there. You won't be able to turn the computer on. Oh, I had some moisture in the keyboard from... Okay, so you won't be able to turn the MacBook on until you plug it in, so keep that in mind. The keyboard left some kind of marks on the screen, so I'm going to use a little isopropyl alcohol to try and clean that up. Okay. Alright. Get that off, and there we go. It's leaving some gross marks everywhere here. Alright, let's plug this in. You can use USB-C, you don't have to use the MagSafe. So we'll plug that in, push the power button. Let's make sure, oh, there you go, and it's turning on. Alright, then of course we gotta just make sure that the touchpad's working. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep, touchpad's good. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down now. Actually, we'll just leave it on. Let me make sure to unplug it. And it's working. I gotta block the things if you want to see. Also, the time is correct. I think it's 4 a.m. Actually, no, it's wrong. Is it wrong? I don't know. It's around 4 a.m. right now. Let me see. It is 4:34 a.m. So the date and time does get reset. It's not March, it's April. So, yeah. Anyways, let's shut this down. And I'll let the customer know that they need to basically set their date and time back up. But other than that, oh, why did it turn itself back on? I shut you down. Wait, what? Is it turning itself back on? It's turning itself back on. Stop it. Okay, let me shut it back down. Is the screen close thing messed up? Let's see. I pushed it down. Let's see if it does anything. No, it's staying off. Oh yeah, I forgot this MacBook. I think if you touch the touchpad and stuff, it wakes it back up. So there we go. That's pretty much done, right? It shut off. If I do this, is it going to wake up? Yeah. Or maybe it's just from opening the screen. I don't know. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully it helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.